I just want to show we're burying my dad. Literally, we're mid-burying my father. And my mom and my brother and my sister are taking the car. Just took my car. And we're in New York. I brought my baby with me. He's over there, my baby.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When I first saw this video, I was like, dang, this is the craziest thing I've seen ever. Like, to get your car repossessed by your family at your father's funeral mid-burial is crazy. But this is a rabbit hole that you guys gonna have to stay tuned for because this is a long one. So I originally saw this video off of this girl's page. Her name is Ronnie. Now, she posted this video looking to out her stepmom and her stepsister. Now, this is her stepsister. After seeing that video did get like 15 million views. Her stepsister said that she blocked her on all platforms. Ronnie blocked her, so just to stay up with that. So in response, she got a hold of the video and made a stitch, and she came with some receipts. Check this out.
I just want to show we're burying my... I'm so happy that I can stitch this video because my sister blocked me on everything. My name is Naomi. I'm 4 years older than Ronnie, but she's not going to tell you guys what actually happened, and she's not going to make a part 2 because she knows she's wrong, and she can't make a part 2. So Ronnie's dad passed away last week. I found out that night. I made plans to come down on Thursday. I live 7 hours away from her. So I had come down that Thursday. I took the rest of the week off of work to be there for my sisters. Ronnie is dating Donovan, which is what she's not going to tell you. Ronnie is dating Donovan. Donovan is a drug addict. So Donovan got high the day before they even found out her dad passed away. But people relapse, that's okay. But his mom knew that he was high, so he got kicked out of his mom's house. I'm blocking out my nephew's face, but this is him, a video of him high in front of his kids. I leave New York at 12 o'clock on Thursday. I get there around 7 o'clock. We're drinking, we're crying, like everybody's having a hard time. But fast forward a couple of days till the day of the funeral, which was Sunday. On Sunday, Donovan says that he and his son need a haircut. My mom gave him $30 for a haircut. He had $20 in his pocket. He took my car and went to get a haircut. When he came back, he said, hey, I had to take $40 out of your bank for the haircut. It's the day of my sister's father's funeral. I'm not going to yell or argue. Whatever. Not really whatever, because he didn't look right. He looked high. I didn't want to say anything because I'm not going to bring it up at a funeral, but Donovan was high the entire funeral. After the funeral, they wanted to go out to eat with their family. I also wanted to go, but they needed somebody to babysit their kids. They have 3 children, and they didn't want to go. They didn't want the children to go. So my mom said she would babysit 2 of the children, and I had to stay home and babysit with her. At the house, it is Ronnie's father's house. It is also where my mom has lived for the past 5 years with Ronnie's father because it was her ex-husband. They have a dog named Oakley. Oakley's not that good with children, but he had been a little bit better, so we were letting the children around him. They were out at a restaurant doing whatever. Me and my mom were babysitting. Their oldest son, Kylan, he is 2. He's going to be 3 this year. Went to give Oakley a piece of crust from the pizza, and Oakley nipped him on the arm. I think it bruised him. It didn't really cut the skin. It was like a panic nip, and Kylan cried for maybe 30 seconds, and then he stopped. My mom called Donovan and Ronnie to let them know what had happened, and high off of drugs, Donovan started screaming at my mother. So my mother started screaming at Donovan. Donovan comes home, and even though he said he was so concerned about his son, did not go to check on his son. He came right into the room where I was sleeping with his 1-year-old daughter, and started screaming at me. He started throwing stuff around the room. He was looking for something. He was freaking out. I kept asking him what he was looking for, and he kept going, the glove, where's the glove, where's the glove? I said, Donovan, I don't know, but you're being crazy. My sister and her friend and the 2 kids went upstairs. Kylan was asleep in my mom's room, and I went downstairs on the couch. I needed some time. I had just spoke at my sister's father's funeral. That was like a dad to me. I was upset. I just needed to get away, and I needed to get away from Donovan for a little bit because he was freaking me out. While they were upstairs, Donovan kept coming downstairs and calling me fake B. He was talking, kept saying I was doing this to him on purpose. I kept saying, Donovan, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to go upstairs in a little bit. I just need some time alone. He was so agitated and angry. I kept telling him, if you do not stop, I am just going to leave. Donovan did not stop. So I went upstairs to where my sister was, and I said, Ronnie, I am leaving. I didn't even tell her the full scope of why I was leaving. I just said that I was leaving. When I said I was leaving, Donovan then got so aggravated and angry that he said that he was going to hit me. He was screaming at me. And I sat there for a little bit. I sat there and I took it because I'm not going to do this in front of my sister, who I just lost her father. Donovan is screaming at me to send him back the money. We were supposed to go to Puerto Rico, which he can't do because he's on probation. We were supposed to go to Puerto Rico. He sent me $1,000. I had used that money, some of that money. They had $600 left. But once they canceled the trip, I said, I can't lose out on $1,000. Like, I'm going to need to take out some of the money out of the money that you gave me, and I will send you back what's left. He was screaming at me to send him $1,000. He was screaming so loud that my mom came out of her room. He then picked up a weight, I think it was 10 pounds, and said that he was going to go smash the windows out of my car and slash my tires. We had gone downstairs because now we are all screaming at each other. My sister is holding her 2-week-old baby. She's screaming at me because I don't want to be in a house where her boyfriend is off of drugs and threatening to hurt me. I left and I get to New York the next day because I stopped to sleep. It was around 2 o'clock when my sister texted me. She texted me, hey, what's going on? I said, what do you mean? She said, did you send it? I told her I was going to send them the remainder of the money that they had left. I said, yes. Oh, I forgot you can't see it. Yeah, I did. She had uninvited me from her dad's funeral, her dad's burial, rather. She said, okay. I said, well, I see you Wednesday. You can tell me no, I'm just asking. Because again, I'm not going to go to a burial for their dad if they don't want me there. Like, that's so rude. And that's what I was thinking. She texts me and says, Nye, are you having an episode? Or like, is mom making your bipolar worse? Because I was just diagnosed with bipolar disorder. A little bit before Donovan had known that I sent the money because he couldn't see it, I called my sister's phone to talk to her, and he was screaming at me. He said that he was going to come to New York on Wednesday. He was going to come to my house, kill my 3-year-old daughter, kill my adopted mother, kill my biological mother, and kill me. They said my mother was no longer allowed to live in the house that she lived with, and lived in for 5 years while taking care of their dad. They kicked my mom out and she had no place to go. So I offered for her to live with me. I called Donovan's PO because Donovan is actually not allowed out of the state. He just got in trouble for stealing somebody's car, crashing it, and then he was getting high. He's a drug addict, and I hope he gets the help he needs after this. The car that's in the video, my mom had given my sister. My sister said she didn't want it. So even though my mom had given it to my sister, my mom bought it back from them. And I don't know what my sister did with the money. I don't know what Donovan did with the money. It doesn't matter at this point. They then take my mother's car and drive all the way to New York, where he just said that he was going to harm my daughter, my sister's goddaughter, her blood niece. And they drive to New York. And so my mom calls the police because now they are in a stolen car. And she said, I don't want anybody arrested. I don't want anybody to press charges against anybody. I just need my car back because they are not supposed to have it. Sadly, the only place that we knew Ronnie was going to be was the burial. Donovan, who said that he was going to beat me up, my sister texted me and said that she was going to bug out on me. I have the text, hang on. She said, I'm letting you know, and you can tell Linda that when I see you at the burial, I'm going to bug out because you two called Donovan's PO, so we couldn't make it to my father's burial. I did call Donovan's PO, so Donovan wouldn't make it to the burial because he threatened to kill my daughter, and he's not even supposed to be out of state. You two are absolutely horrible. I want nothing to do with you. Let Linda know either when the house is switched to my name, she will have her 30-day notice, or Erin will do it when she gets back from New York. I absolutely hate both of you. I mean, like, you can read it. If my father was still here, he would hate both of you too. Linda is a shitty mother and always has been. So my sister took the video that you guys saw at the burial. They got the car. Her boyfriend bent the car key, and they trashed the car. They stole the radio out of it. It was the Apple radio. They stole the radio out of it, and I said they trashed the car already. Me and my mother have done absolutely nothing for my sister. We have stuck beside her when her boyfriend has done awful, terrible things to her, has done awful, terrible things in front of the kids and gotten them evicted from houses time and time and time again. I have been there for my sister. I have sent her money. I have sent her the very last money that I have for myself. And so has my mother. My sister's phone is still on my mom's phone plan. It's actually my mother's phone, and my sister won't give it back. When my mom drove to Pennsylvania yesterday to get the rest of her stuff out of that house, my sister got there and threatened to beat my mother. She said awful, disgusting things about me. She said awful, disgusting things to my brother. And I love my sister. I still love my sister, but you cannot stand next to somebody that threatened to kill your only niece and then act like everything is going to be okay after. And that's why she's not telling you the whole story. The burial was the only place my mom could think of to take the car because once they got out of there, they were going back to Pennsylvania. Should she have done it at the burial? I don't know. But you guys let me know what you think.
Now listen, before we get into any more of the parts, she's only 2 more parts left to her story. But before we get in it, this is Ronnie's response to why she left the car the way she did. This car was left a mess when they came to repossess it. But look what her sister Ronnie had to say about it.
I just want to show you guys, this is the car in question. They absolutely trashed it. That's where they took the radio out from. But this is the car. Do not let and did, and I'll do it again. I wasn't even gonna include Naomi in the story. I was gonna just specifically talk about why my car was taken while we were burying my dad. But she posted like a couple videos lying. And part 2 is in my drafts. I just did half of it, and then I'm waiting for my sister to come tomorrow, and we're gonna do the other half. So Naomi and Linda, my mom, are the type of people who will say something but then like twist it to where they sound good. Linda was not here taking care of my father. She lived here because she had nowhere else to go. The fact that she was like, oh, we couldn't go to the burial. Yes, you could. Well, I said I didn't want Linda there, but you could have came because I told you you had your own relationship with my father. You could have came. You didn't come because I said if I see you, I'm gonna bug out. But you know exactly what you did to cause me to bug out. You and Linda. Not only in that video did you say, we're grieving. We couldn't say goodbye. The fact that it was my father and you guys have only been thinking about yourselves through the entire process is absurd. The words that has come out of yours and Linda's mouth were Ronnie has not been able to grieve at all. So the fact that you're saying that everything that you've done is because you're grieving is crazy. They had called my boyfriend's PO. They called her because they did not want us going to the burial. And I have the messages where my sister literally said she was trying to get him to get arrested. Oh, and in that video, you said, so we sent you $1,000 for the trip. You said you spent about 400 or whatever. We had 600 left. But I have messages where you're saying we only had $160 left. So when we went out to eat, she said specifically she did not want to come. And then she was like, well, if you guys want me to come, like, I'll come. And I was like, cool, I want you to come. But my mom threw a fit about watching the kids for an hour and a half. So Naomi was like, it's fine, I'll stay. After that, I was like, you know what? Like, I really want you to come. I know you want to come. Hold on. So I had found another babysitter and I have messages. I found another babysitter so that she could come. So right here, I literally said like, hey, Elka can watch them. Their other grandmother. I said, please come. We don't want you just sitting there. Like, I want you there. No answer. Oh, and I also am working. I'm on maternity leave. And I'm not hiding the fact that I'm with Donovan. This was when he was in active addiction, okay? This is him now. He's sober. My thing is, my mom was an addict. Naomi herself, she said she was addicted to. And also, like, the fact that you love me so much, I'm your sister, da da da, but you are so quick to kick somebody when they're down. Linda, too, like, as a mother, why are you so, and as a, like, you were an addict, too. So, like, why are you so quick to judge somebody? And they did get a haircut. It was like an hour, maybe like 45 minutes away. He put 20 in her tank and then used the rest to get a haircut. He was also not high at my dad's funeral. He was crying. Right here you can see he was not high. He was crying. And you saying Oakley was not that good with children, that was the first time he has ever met kids. That dog is vicious. And saying, oh, he's gotten a little bit better. We literally, that was the first time he was around new people. Why would you guys let a 2-year-old try to feed the dog? And Oakley's a big dog. He is over 100 pounds. He's a King German Shepherd. So, yes, he was mad that his son got bit because you guys were being irresponsible. The fact that you are downplaying how the dog bit him is... My son had a bruise on his arm. Again, Oakley's a big dog. He could have went for the neck, the face, and he did go and check on his son. The first thing that you told me he did was he came into the room asking where his kids were. And we all know your attitude. You were livid that you did not come out to eat, even though we all made the attempt to get you to come. Donovan was mad because it was my dad's funeral and you were mad over something so petty. And he was mad that you let his kid get bit. And also, before the trip, you said you were going to give us our full $1,000 back because my dad had just passed. Da-da-da-da. You then said, after I said we do have to cancel because, you know, you then all of a sudden were saying that we don't have $1,000. We have $167 left. And again, you're twisting it to make you guys sound good. You had gone downstairs before anybody. And then Linda went downstairs. And then me and Donovan were listening at the top of the stairs, everything that you were saying. That's when Donovan came back down. And then I was still at the top of the stairs until I heard Linda getting in on it. I did not say 2 words to you guys other than yelling at you guys upstairs because you started screaming, not Donovan. He was not screaming at this point. You started screaming in the room where I was laying down with my daughter and my baby who were asleep. So I yelled at you for yelling. I called you selfish. I called both of you guys selfish. But anyways, so I came downstairs. I did not start yelling until Linda had told him to get out. Now, mind you, this is the second time that you and Linda have said you were leaving during this whole process of the funeral. So for Linda to tell him to get out when he and my friend have been the only 2 there for me is crazy. You and Linda made my dad's funeral about you guys. The fact that you love me so much, I'm your sister, and that's supposed to be my mom, and you guys were leaving because you were fighting with Aaron. It's selfish. You guys were being extremely selfish. The moment you guys drove away, I didn't want contact with you guys. You guys then came back because you made up with Aaron. You guys were not thinking about me. You weren't thinking about my dad. And it's so crazy because my father has opened his home to both of you multiple times. When you were in New York and your friend did what she did, and I'm not going to say your business the way that you say mine because I'm not like that. But when you had nowhere to go because of what your friend did, my father opened his home to you. And same with Linda. But you guys have yet again made everything about you. But I'm happy that you did, and I'm happy you guys did this because I see how you truly are, and I do not want people like that in my life. I don't want you guys around my kids, nothing. Donovan and Donisha were the only 2 people who put me first through this whole process. And I also never said I didn't want my car, and she never bought the car back from me. I'm like watching your video as I make this video. The fact that you're saying I stole her car, that was my car. My father just paid a down payment for her to get a new car. I feel like you had to have read some of the comments on my video or something and like made this up in your head. Cause like you're really delusional. I'm not even gonna watch the rest of her video. But part 2 will be posted tomorrow about why my car was taken at my dad's burial. Oh, and that was also my radio. I have the receipt. They did not buy that. That was my radio.
All right, so now that we have Ronnie response, let's go ahead and get back into the rest of the parts. And I want you guys to put it all together and tell me what you think in the comment section below. Part 2 to my mom took my car at my dad's burial. So what my sister's not telling you is that is not her car.
That is my mom's car. My mom bought it and gave it to my sister because my sister had no car. My sister needed money, so she said that my mom could buy the car back. So my mom gave her $600 to buy the car back. And then after everything happened, my mom has a second car. She left that car in Pennsylvania. My sister and her boyfriend and her best friend brought her 2-week-old baby into a stolen car, drove it across state lines with someone that's not supposed to go across state lines, and to New York. After the burial, your boyfriend said that he was coming to kill my child. So my mom did what my mom did. She called the cops. The cops went to the burial, and they took the car. A lot of you are going to say, but did you have to take it at the burial? Well, I don't know. Would you let a drug addict that just said that he was going to come to your house to kill your kid after the burial drive the car there? And my sister's going to say that I'm on drugs, my mom's on drugs. Completely not true. I'm not going to show the whole picture because this is why I think my post got taken down. This is her boyfriend nodding out. Her son is right down here in this corner. Again, I'm not going to show the whole picture. A lot of you said I was victim blaming, but what my sister's also not going to tell you is that last year she got an order of protection against Donovan and started dating a man named James. She met James one time with her boyfriend Donovan. When Donovan went to jail, she started talking to James. James is a heroin addict. She went over his house one time and then didn't go back to her house. She basically moved in. Donovan got out of jail. I went to Pennsylvania. It was last year in September. My sister was with James. We were still hanging out with Donovan, but that's their business, so I'm not going to get into all of that. My sister got pregnant with her now 2-week-old Lorenzo, and I'm not sure how everything is going there. I went to Pennsylvania in March to clean out James's house so that my sister and her kids could move in because my sister left her kids with Donovan's mom. What I'm about to say is like a lot of allegations and I don't have a lot to back it up, so I'm going to say like this is hearsay, but Donovan's mother said my sister did not go to see her kids for days and days and days on end. She just stayed at James's house. She's told me that the state that the kids were in when my sister had them and when Donovan's mom got them back was absolutely horrible. But again, I don't have anything to back that up. I think my sister is a good mom, besides the men that she picks to date. So we got my sister out of the situation with Donovan. James went to rehab. We fixed up the house for my sister. I made sure she had food before I left. Made sure the kids had clothes and shoes. And when Donovan got out of jail, my sister went right back to Donovan. So no, I don't think I'm victim blaming. I think I'm blaming a mother who constantly chooses her boyfriend over her children. The fact of the matter is that my sister stole my mom's car and drove all the way to New York, knowing that it wasn't her car anymore, knowing that your boyfriend just said he was going to kill my daughter and thought that there was no repercussions that were going to come of this. My sister has me blocked on everything because my sister knows that she's wrong. My mom drove to Pennsylvania after the burial that we did not get to go to and started gathering all of her stuff. My sister and Donovan got there shortly after, where my sister said that she was going to beat my mom up. She was going to hit my mom. She kept asking where I was so that she could fight me. She said that she was going to spit on me, and my mom called the cops. Donovan had lost a bag full of heroin in the house, so he didn't want the cops coming inside. Let me reiterate, Donovan lost a bag full of heroin where his kids play and wake up, and my sister and Donovan don't wake up with their kids, so they're allowed to roam the house freely with the so-called very bad dog. Should my mom have taken the car at the funeral? That's up for you guys to decide. No, I do not do drugs. I have a full-time job. I have a new car. I have my own apartment where I've lived at for over 2 years. Of course you guys are going to say my sister is a victim, because at first my sister was a victim. The children are the only victims in this anymore. My sister knows exactly what she's doing by being with Donovan. She knows that Donovan isn't clean and Donovan got high the day of her father's funeral. Donovan wasn't even allowed to go to Puerto Rico because he was on probation. And if I knew that, I wouldn't even have asked him to go. People are asking why I don't take my sister's kids from her. I was a kid in foster care because my mom was a drug addict. She lost me and my brother, my sister, and her sister went to go live with Fred, their father. I don't want to take my sister's kids, but from the people that I've talked to that live in Pennsylvania, they are going to try to take my sister's kids. I would do anything for my sister. I would still, to this day, do anything for my sister. But I have to put my daughter first. My sister's going to spin this around and put it on me and my mom, and that's completely okay, because that's what narcissists do. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My sister has not had to financially provide for her family since she's made her family. If you know me, you know what type of person I am, and you know what type of person I am to my sister. This situation hurts me beyond words because I never, ever thought that my sister would do what she did to me. It hurts me knowing that my daughter might possibly never see her aunt again, the person that I named her after. I'm not going to get on here and cry, but I have bailed my sister out of every situation I could think of, and she just keeps going back. Once you have children, you have to put your children before you. My sister has not put her children before her in years. I'm not going to go into detail the awful, horrendous things my sister has said to me these past couple days because I have said stuff back. That's what we do. We argue, we fight. But I never thought that she would feel the way she feels about me now. If you guys need a part 3, let me know. I can do a part 3, but that's the backstory. What my sister posted of the burial was a very little part of the story. I'll tell you that she stole a car. Not going to tell you how much her boyfriend threatened us. She's not going to tell you the actual story because if she does, she knows that the sympathy would not go towards her. This is going to be my last video because I have to get up. I have to go to work. I have to start my day. But this has been fun. My sister is going to sit and tell you guys that Donovan's not in active addiction, and I showed videos of when Donovan was in active addiction, but Donovan just did drugs on Tuesday. Hang on a second. They moved into Fred's house on Tuesday. They moved into Fred's house because Donovan got kicked out of his mom's house because he was high on Tuesday of last week. This is Donovan's mom again. This is dumb. They tell lies. They spent $300 on Jordans for their kids. It doesn't really matter. They just don't have a lot of money, so why do that? This is just his mom talking about some of the stuff, like the diaper rashes and stuff that my sister will blame on his mom. His mom will blame on my sister, so who knows? This is a good point. Who plans a vacation when you have 3 kids and not even a home to live in? Ronnie and Donna. And you know what? Fine, if you only let one person not out in front of your child, but you let 2. I'm not gonna out you anymore, Ronnie. You know what it is. Your boyfriend was just high. He used my car to buy drugs with your son in the car. If you guys don't care, that is completely fine. You do what you want as parents, but me, my baby's gonna be good regardless. You feel me? You know what's crazy? I didn't even put it together that Donovan was high at the funeral. Your sister, Erin, her boyfriend put it together that Donovan was high at the funeral, sweating profusely. You couldn't understand a word he was saying. But of course he doesn't look like a drug addict now because my mom paid to get his hair cut. Let's talk about how you guys left Oakley in the house with no food and no water and came all the way to New York in a stolen car that you know wasn't your car because mom paid you for it. Let's talk about how you just unblocked me to talk on TikTok because you thought people were going to believe a 30-second video that you posted, even though you can't leave drug addicts alone because you have an issue. Let's talk about how everyone now thinks you're on drugs and wants me to call CPS, and I don't want to because what the heck? But you know what? Time will come. Karma will come. You guys have seen everything. I've said my piece. I don't care. If she never talks to me again, all I can think is that my daughter and me are better for it. I know you guys are going to think that I took Ronnie's money because I needed a little bit of $600, but I have sent my sister way more than $600 just these past couple months. When Donovan needed money on his books, I put money on Donovan's books. Like, make it make sense. I didn't need your money. You knew where your money went. If you want to get mad, get mad. But the only reason Donovan flipped out is because he couldn't find his heroin in the house and he needed money that very instant to buy more drugs.
All right, if you was just as invested as me in this situation, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. See, most people are saying that, Ronnie is actually at fault because how she handled that situation, how she handled her stepmom and her stepsister after all she's done for them. A lot of people in the comment section wasn't feeling how Ronnie, handled that situation. Now, I know she was the one who originally posted that video, 30 seconds, and it did rack up over 15 million views, but it did not go the way that Ronnie expected it to go. Once her sister decided to take the platform and actually, like, she didn't even have any videos before even this whole situation. So her sister really just came out of nowhere, and just to defend herself and her mother. And boy, didn't she.